If you're a medical student, you will agree with me that the hardest classes in med school, the 200 level and also the 400 level. These two classes are peculiar in that when you get into these classes, this is the first time you are being introduced to new courses, and also the curriculum is very, very bulky. So today I'm going to be talking about the 400 level, how it was for me, how I was able to scale through part of fun, and also what happens in 400 level in medical school. If you are just coming across my content, my name is Jude. I am a final year medical student living in the capital city of Nigeria. I make videos about medicine, lifestyle, and productivity. You're welcome. Please like this video and share with your friends. And please ensure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you'll be the first to know each time I post a video here, okay? And to my returning subscribers, thanks and God bless you. So let's get on to the business of the day. Actually, 400 level is like a very, very tough year in medical school because you just passed your second MB, that's your anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. You're not in the clinical arm. You are no longer dealing with cadavers, thanks to God. You are no longer going to the chemistry and physiology lab. Right now, the hospital is now your lab. You are dealing with real patients. So it's the first time you'll be introduced to the clinical medicine where you are meeting with patients, you are learning how to clerk, and it's also the first time you'll be introduced to pharmacology, pathology. So under pathology alone, you are going to be doing microbiology, hematology, chemical pathology, histopathology. Then you are going to be doing pharmacology. Like it's really bulky, and you have to learn these things in a space of 1 year or 1 year and 2 months, depending on the school. So it's actually very demanding because you are going to be doing this alongside your clinical posting. This is the time you are going to do your M0, X0, and also X1, X2. Okay, for those that don't know what it means, M0, X0 is the introductory medical and surgical posting. It's a way of welcoming you to the clinical and introducing you to what medicine and surgery is all about. Then M1, M2 is like your second, depending on the school, most people is their first, the second medicine and surgical posting after the introductory posting, where you are going to be learning how to collect patients, how to do clinical examinations, and you're going to be doing these clinical postings alongside your pathology and pharmacology classes. So you can already see that it's really demanding and it's a whole lot. The posting for me was very demanding because, like I said earlier, this is the first time I was being introduced to pathology and pharmacology. All along, while being a preclinical student, I was always eager to come and learn pharmacology. For instance, most times your people will call you as a medical student to explain how a certain drug works. If you can't explain it, it can reduce your steez now as a medical student. So I was really eager to come and learn about drugs, how it works, the side effects, and the classes of drugs and all of that. Then, of course, the backbone of medicine is pathology, because for you to even treat, you need to know what you are treating. You have to understand diseases and how they work. After learning physiology in preclinical arm, of course, you have to come over to the clinical arm to learn your pathology. And alongside that, you're going to be learning your pharmacology. So 400 level for me was really hectic. At first, when we started, attend lectures in the morning, then go for our practicals in the afternoon till evening. That's the worst was chemical pathology. If you've done part and farm, you relate with me because it's just like, in a way, biochemistry. Actually, for me, while in preclinical, I really enjoyed biochemistry. I loved the pathways, but what I didn't really like about medical biochemistry was the practical aspect, going to the lab, because most of those things were not really making sense at some point. But the pathways were making sense. At least you could cram them, not really cram, you could understand them. You could understand why certain things were happening. But some things were not making sense in the lab. That was just how chemical pathology was for me initially. But what saved me in 400 level, what saved me in part of farm was COVID. Thank God for COVID-19. When COVID-19 came, we had to stop lectures. Everybody had to go to their tents, went home. During the lockdown, I was able to read some things. That was actually my saving grace. If not, part and farm would have really been a great war, like World War III, Jude versus part and farm. But thank God for COVID-19 break, the lockdown. I was able to read while at home. I learned a lot of things while home. When we finally resumed post COVID-19, I became less of a I became less of a full-time student. First of all, I got a freelance job that really was demanding my time. So I was doing part of farm alongside a freelance job that required me to work every day. Imagine that. So if not for the things I read during the break, it would have really been so hard for me to do, because I already did a lot of work during the COVID-19 lockdown break. So it was really easier for me. Another thing that helped me in pathology and pharmacology was um, when I got into part and farm class, when I saw that I had a lot to learn and also a lot to memorize, because you had to know them, try those drugs, their side effects, and many other things. What I did was I bought a small jotter that was like exactly my pocket size, that could fit right into my pocket. I would take each classes of drugs, then I'll write a bit about their pharmacokinetics and also about their pharmacodynamics. Then I would also take the atypical members of those classes, right? Those ones that had alien behaviors or that had contrasting behaviors. I would also write on them because these are areas of interest. Yeah, and also, okay, that actually helped me a lot. Then for pathology, I had these video tutorials that I used during the lockdown. I think the name is Patoma. It actually helped me to understand a lot of concepts. For chemical pathology, one of the things I did there was recording most of especially the revision class we had. That recording saved my life. I didn't even really sit down to read the note I took from that revision. What I did was I just listened to the recording over and over again, because our HOD came, broke down everything again, and gave us and like simplified the whole um, chemical pathology and emphasized on the things that we needed to know. So it was that recording that actually saved my life. Oh, so thank God that I attended that revision class. For microbiology, that is what we call buzzwords. Like, there are words you hear and you just know that this word or this description is referring to a certain organism. So that was also one thing that helped me in microbiology, because there were a lot to cramming the names of organisms, the diseases they cause, and many other things. For pathology, learning how to memorize slide, that is histopathology, opposite part of histology. When you're doing histology in anatomy, under anatomy, you are learning about the normal microscopic cellular images. But when you come over to this side, when you come over to the clinical arm, you're going to be learning about the diseased cellular images. Of course, you have to learn about different diseases, their pathogenesis, pathophysiology, prognosis, and so on. So it was fun, sha, but then it was not fun. Or it was like Third World War, Jude against the whole of Pat and Pan. But thank God I skated through. Glory be to God. Even though I can't really remember how hectic it was now, the one that I can still remember vividly is it O&G and pediatrics, because that one they almost that one was not funny. So medical school is actually hard though, but it is fun too, because you are not going through it alone. You are going through it with your colleagues. Something that motivates you is knowing that people have actually done this medical school before and they survived. So your case will not be a different one. If you're watching this video and you're just starting out your pathology and pharmacology class, I wish you all the best. Oh, God will help you. If you have finished your path and farm class, congratulations too. And also for those that are aspiring to come into medicine, the Lord will help you. You will get here someday. I hope you remember this video when you start doing your path and farm, and I hope one or two things I said in this video might be helpful to you. So this is all for today's video. Do have a lovely day and stay motivated. Bye bye.